have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and light.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
On 925-3261.
all the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up next, we hear about World Down Syndrome Day activities happening in Cayman, and later in the program, we open the phone lines so we can talk about what's on your mind. Talk Today is next. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
To avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Talk Today. I'm Charles Glidden. Good of you to join me on the internet or that old school thing called a radio. It's a beautiful day right here in Georgetown. Sun is shining and the weather is sweet. Yes, another great day in the Cayman Islands. And I hope your week has been a good one. Moving right along here. And we're about to close out the month. Can you believe we're already moving into the third month of the year? Time keeps on slipping by, right? Especially when you're having fun. Well, World Down Syndrome Day is coming up, and it will be observed here in Cayman with the T21 NPO Walk, Run, Scoot, Push. And we're going to hear about that in this segment of the show. Joining me now to tell us more are Desiree Jacob, Dr. Mona Kazemi, and Dion Sessi. Folks, good afternoon. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much for having us.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Tell us the significance of that T21.
Well, T21 is short for trisomy 21, which is also known as Down syndrome. Now, World Down Syndrome Day occurs each year on the third month on the 21st day to signify the extra copy of the 12th chromosome, X chromosome, which is what makes Down syndrome. So March 21st is celebrated for our persons in the community with Down syndrome, to raise awareness about our community and also to raise funds for the community itself.
Dr. Kazemi, tell us a little bit about Down syndrome. I know it's not fully understood by a lot of people. Talk about that for us.
Sure. So Down syndrome, essentially, I guess the way that is the easiest way to explain is it looks differently for every child and every person who has Down syndrome. So What we can see are different abilities. There are strengths that come with Down syndrome and areas that require just extra support. We can have, let's start with strengths, actually. Some of the strengths of people with Down syndrome is it's common to have a personality characteristic of having one of the best sense of humors. It'll be rare to see somebody with Down syndrome who isn't smiling and laughing and just knows how to make every situation light and positive and joyful. Another strength is that they are able to socially connect really well because of this joy that they're able to create for, themselves and for others around them. Another strength that we commonly see is with their visual memory. So if they see something, they remember it really well. They can, I'm in pediatrics, so I'm going to go into some of the care that we provide. You can do a puzzle with a child with Down syndrome, and you do it once, and they've got it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they can now go back and just put all those pieces together.
Yeah. The visual components are very, very strong within a person who has Down syndrome. Sometimes what you can also see are, differences within communication. It's not uncommon to have difficulty with hearing. You can see some difficulties at times with motor skills, like being able to use their hands effectively enough to potentially undress themselves with buttons or manage zippers. But on the other side, you can also have somebody with Down syndrome who can do that fully independently.
So there are degrees.
Yes. So there's a spectrum within Down syndrome, as there is a spectrum for everything. But the strengths and areas of need can vary. You can have people with Down syndrome who are able to live fully independently. They can go to university. We've been seeing a lot more in social media, more representation with models and actors, which is wonderful.
Even one lawyer.
Yes, even a lawyer. Yes. So there are, even though that there might be some challenges that come with Down syndrome, like the hypermobility and the low muscle tone. So I guess the best way to describe it is, how do I say this in an easy way to understand? It might take a little bit more effort to move and might get tired a little bit more quickly, which is what impacts some of those motor components. However, you can have, as I was saying, you can have somebody who's completely, top of their game in the profession, and you can also have somebody on the other side who requires support and physical assistance to be able to do things like cooking a meal for themselves, or might not be able to drive a car. So there's just a variety of abilities within the Down syndrome spectrum, would be the best way to describe it.
I think that's very accurate, and I think that's if you're in the community, you will know certain members of the community that do have Down syndrome, and it varies, right? Yeah. There are some children that are mainstream into school, two of which are at St. Ignatius, one of them being my son, and some who are at Lighthouse or some who are homeschooled. It just depends. There are a lot of cross diagnosis that also comes with Down syndrome. Some may have a heart condition when they were born, so which requires a few operations. Some may be hearing impaired, conductive hearing loss. My son has conductive hearing loss in the right ear, or some that also fall on the autism spectrum. And some of our community are also predisposed to leukemia, childhood leukemia, testicular cancer in our male community, as well as Alzheimer's and dementia as they grow older. So it's a range of ability, I would say, physical and mental, and there are some learning delays or delayed messaging, I would say, with some of the everyday routine things that one might do at their age. So occupational therapy, speech therapy, physiotherapy, or even ABA therapy may be needed on a short or long-term basis, throughout their life.
We're going to pause right there. We've got to take a break, and we'll be right back.
You know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Hi, my name is Sarah Sue, and my most fond memory was listening to Radio Cayman growing up in Cayman Brac. My late grandmother always played Radio Cayman, and to this day I still listen to the station. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman. Thank you for the memories and for the best music. And thank you for providing music to the Sister Islands from day one.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're learning more about the T21 NPO Walk Run Scoot Push event that is coming up. And I was just told that the man who puts all of this together is sitting right with us. Dion Sessi, tell us about the NPO, the T21 NPO. What are the activities of the NPO?
The programs, by the way, thank you for having us. The T21 NPO is dedicated mostly on the children and middle age and even adult with Down syndrome. That's why the program evolves in all those areas. So one of the major programs that we are trying to do to make it more inclusive to the community is the race, the run, the walk, the push, the scoot. This is actually the second year that we're doing this. We did this last year. That's why we're trying to generate more, marketing tool like this. Yeah. That's why we're very thankful to having us here, because we want the community to be more involved in this. And then we're fortunate to have Next Chapter and DART, Camana Bay, for making this happen as well, because we're going to do it in the area, which is safer as well, and we can do it at the shaded area actually. So, but we're gonna do it early in the morning as well, so that there will be more safety precautions if we're gonna do it inclusive for everyone.
Yes.
In fact, when we did this last time, we were planning to do it separately, for the regular runners. And now the directors themselves say, why don't we do it inclusively?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do it all together at the same time.
So the more the merrier. Then.
Yes.
That's right.
So we generated a lot of things. We were preparing a lot of things to make it more safer as well. We bought traffic signs. We bought safety vest. And we are very fortunate to have a lot of volunteers who came in to help us as well. But we're still needing more.
Mm-hmm.
The more, the merrier.
Yeah.
The community's involvement is so precious to the board, and we want everyone to be on board.
Well, how does someone get involved and volunteer?
Oh, there's a lot of ways, and I believe Attorney can
Sure.
expound on that. Yeah.
You can definitely go to our website at www.t21npo.com, where you can register for the walk run. You can also send messages for assistance. You can complete forms even to apply for assistance, which is what we raise funds for, right? And you can also volunteer. So send us a message there at the website, or by email at info@t21npo.com.
So where is it going to be held?
It's in Cabana Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, March 21, exactly the date of the World Down Syndrome.
Yeah.
And people sign up for this by going to the website also?
Yes.
Yes.
You can go to the website. It will lead you directly to EventPro, which can register you. And then once you register, you can collect your shirts the night before in preparation for the actual walk, run, scoot, push the next day, and avoid any delays. But either through EventPro or definitely through our website. Please check out our website so you can meet our board, so you can know a little bit more about our mission, what we raise funds for, which is for families to meet medical needs, therapeutic needs, to access social programs and inclusive programs that connect our communities together.
Now, it looks like you've broken things up, as you were saying. Then it's all one big group now. Name the different kind of events that people can get involved in this.
Sure. There will be a 1K, 3K, and 5K run. We will split the categories between adults and children. And there will be medals, there will be trophies, and there are even cash prizes. Okay? There will be some swag also. So it's not a day to miss. It's a family event. It's from ages 0 to 99 for every ability. But we've broken up the categories so that there's something for everyone.
So when you scoots, so you got scooters involved there. Now
Wheelchairs.
Is that the push?
Yeah.
Yes.
Push is
Okay.
for the wheelchair.
We have volunteers for those as well.
Yeah, we have volunteer pushers so that everyone with any ability can participate, young and old.
And I think the important thing is what's there aren't a lot of events that are accessible to everyone within the community, and this event is for everyone and for no one to feel alone. And so the more representation there is of people who utilize wheelchairs, who have different forms of mobility or neurodiversity, we're encouraging you to please show up. It's important. It's important for others who are in the similar situation to see you there too. It's important for everyone in the community to understand that you're not alone.
Yes.
And this is a place for love and acceptance and inclusion. So just to reiterate, doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how you need to get around and what kind of support you need. You will be supported and you're able to participate.
Is that one of the real major challenges for someone with Down syndrome, is being accepted? Is that a major barrier for them?
I would like to say yes. And I think, Desiree, you could probably speak a little bit to that too as a mother.
As a parent of a 13-year-old boy who is deeply loved within St. Ignatius and his class and our community. But it is one of the campaigns that World Down Syndrome has set for this year, which is Together Against Loneliness. And each year they set a theme which interweaves a general, a national campaign across the board, not just on March 21st, not just in October for awareness, but throughout the whole year. So acceptance is definitely an issue, fighting loneliness, also bonding with the community. If they're not able to access it, they can't even partake in it. There are lots of social programs out there that do support this, which means it's not a special class for a special person. It is a class for a person, and it doesn't matter what that ability is. One of those programs is Cast Karate, and Jefferson, participates at the national level for the Cayman Islands and has brought home a gold and a silver medal for the Cayman Islands. But that is because there's a program out there that exists that looks beyond an ability and sees just a person. And yes.
When a parent is told that their child is Down syndrome, that must take a lot of adjustment for them. But what kind of advice would you give a parent?
The advice that I would give for a parent is that, yes, the journey you envision for your child has changed, but has not ended. Okay? Today, there's so much access to support within families and within the community. And it starts with things like this program. So thank you for having us, because it raises awareness about children with Down syndrome and what it actually means and what that means you will see and what you can expect from it, so that you desensitize this notion that, I can't say hello, or, I shouldn't interact, or we'll just leave them alone. And, I would say there is support out there, and there's a lot more than what there used to be in terms of programs, schools, medical care, and therapeutic, access, which will help the family. Counseling for families. That's another thing. If you have more than one sibling, in your family, then there can become a disconnect, because a lot of attention is being placed on one child and the rest of the family not. There's not a lot of family activities that you can do when you have a person with a different ability.
You're constantly adjusting things to try and include that child.
That's correct. But now there are lots of programs, including this event, which is not exclusive, it is inclusive. So everyone in the family can join. I would say my biggest advice is to not give up hope. That's what we did, and that's why we're here today. We're so much further than what we were 5, 10, 25 years ago.
I have some friends that they have a daughter that is with Down syndrome. And, she's a big woman now, actually. But I knew her from the time she was small. And one of the things that I always admired about the parents was that they didn't treat her any differently.
That's right.
They treated her just like the other children. You behave, stop doing that. That's
correct.
You're not getting a free card here to do what you want. Is that important from
Absolutely. Absolutely, because if you want, them to integrate with the community, you have to treat them as you would, the rest of the community. And I remember something that happened with Jefferson at school. I was having a parent-teacher conference, and the teacher said to me, Ms. Des, this happened in school. I talked strongly to Jefferson, and the entire class booed me. And he said, do you think I did something wrong? And I said, if Jefferson did something wrong, just as the rest of the class would have been punished, he should have been punished the same way. Mm-hmm. We cannot expect them to integrate into the community if they are not being treated like the rest of the community. I said bravo for his class, though. I love that they had that inside themselves, you know, to say, hey, not Jeffy, you know. But no, I mean, if we want, you know, the children to know how to behave, any child, not just children with Down syndrome, any child to learn how to behave at dinner, in public, keeping them at home is not going to teach them those social, you know, habits, right? Bringing them into the dinner, and it might be painful sometimes. You know, I've had, you know, something happen in public where the rest of the restaurant didn't really quite understand, you know, what was happening, and you know, sometimes it is definitely a challenge. It's not easy.
The other people just don't understand the situation.
And so we just have to raise awareness, just like this, to know that there are some behavioral issues that have to be treated in such a way, which is why we have our, you know, ABA therapists, why we have speech and occupational therapists that help us through bridging those gaps so that they can, you know, operate more effectively in the community. The community can understand them. They know what the social norms are so that they can also acquire those skills. It's independent skills, life skills.
We have to take another break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The results are in. 11% of Cayman's population have been previously diagnosed with raised blood sugar or diabetes, and as many as 50% of all persons living with diabetes in Cayman have never had a foot exam. The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases such as diabetes. Your health matters. Let's step into wellness, Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/STEPS.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from March 9 to 13 at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.porterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into wellness, Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/STEPS.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're talking about Down syndrome and the awareness in the community of people with Down syndrome. And during the break, Dr. Kazemi, you were saying that the awareness by people in the community is so important as far as, how they interact, because some people will try to avoid this, right?
Yes. And unfortunately, the Cayman has been developing, and it continues to develop. And with the development, gives more opportunity for people to come out and participate regardless of abilities. Now, one of the things that, I think that I would say is quite notable within Cayman is when you're going to the grocery store, you're walking around outside, you're at the beach, or whatever you're doing within the community, rarely you see somebody with the difference. You don't see people out in wheelchairs. You might not see anybody with, walking even with a cane. I can't tell. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody walking with a cane in Cayman in the 14
Grocery
years
store.
that I've been here. Rarely have I ever seen somebody out with a wheelchair. And rarely do you see somebody who might look a little bit different than, you and me. And one of the things that we were just discussing was when people do come out into the community, there isn't this feeling of inclusion, unfortunately. And that feeling is there, because there can be times where I've heard this from so many parents. We're going to the restaurant, we're out, my preteen or my teenager or 8-year-old, however old the child is, and they're encouraging their child to practice their communication skills, to order their own food. And the waiter or the waitress almost always goes to the parent, what would she like to eat? And doesn't give the child an opportunity to utilize those skills and to be able to be a part of a normal daily or a normal activity that anybody else would. There's this assumption at times when you see difference, they can't. And the more that we have the assumption that they can, the more inclusive we are as a community, and the more that we can see everybody on the spectrum in the community. And again, that goes back to what we're doing with the run and walk, the scoot, the push. On Saturday, March 21st, is this inclusion piece where we want everybody to be able to be represented, because we know that they can.
Okay.
And that's what's important.
So this is also a fundraiser
Yes.
for the NPO, right?
That's correct.
So you raise the funds through the registration fee?
Yes. That's correct. We raise money through the registration fee, and we raise money through Rock Your Socks, which is going to be held on the 20th, the day before, so that offices, corporates, schools can participate, wear different colored socks, and then make a small donation for their dress down day. And that also is used to raise money for families who are having difficulty meeting their medical needs or their therapeutic needs, or are completely, separate from the community because they are not involved with social activities or other inclusive programs that allow them to, connect with you or us,
You have a number of how many parents have Down syndrome children in Cayman?
We have a current number of about 35 to 50 families that do. This does not include transient families. We have a huge community of people who may not have had their child born here in the Cayman Islands, or who have moved here, or have been here are moving away. So that number varies from time to time. What we do know, though, and recently published by government, is that within the Caribbean in totality, 15% of the population has some form of disability in the Caribbean. What is much more staggering than that is that within the Cayman Islands, that number is actually 22%, which means 1 in every 4 person has some form of disability. You need to let that sink in.
1 in 4?
1 in 4.
Yeah, what's that, 25%?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's significant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, is this hereditary?
There's a lot of science on this, and it is said that it is not caused by anything environmental or even hereditary. It is not something that's passed down. It may have to do with age of the mother and the mother's eggs. However, statistics also show more young mothers have babies with Down syndrome than older people.
There's actually new research showing that it's actually the age of the father has more of an influence on
Really?
Is that
genetic
right?
contributions and developmental differences than the mother.
Yep.
That's recent.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mothers have a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
Mothers have a lot of guilt.
That you see a lot of that?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Because it was always said that it was the mother
Right.
that, somehow caused it.
Yeah. So the origin of it is not quite clear.
No.
Is what I'm getting
Yes.
from
It's
you.
not. Yeah. It's I guess random selection would
Yeah.
be
Yes.
the best way to describe it.
Let's get a little closer.
Sorry,
to the mic.
it's more. The best way to describe it would be random selection.
So it's just something in nature that happens.
Yes.
Talk a little bit for me about more about the work of the NPO. I know you said you help
Sure.
people with expenses, etc. But what is some of the day-to-day activities of the NPO?
Well, we really try to raise awareness through connecting with companies, corporates, and individuals that would never maybe have a nexus to Down syndrome. And that's how we raise awareness. I think sometimes the community in general is hesitant to talk about it or to, ask about it. One, because it doesn't resonate with them. It doesn't resonate with them because they possibly might not know somebody with Down syndrome. But what we do is try and relate it in terms of what the general public might be accustomed to knowing. So if you know somebody who falls on the autism spectrum, about 18% of our community falls within the spectrum also. If you know somebody who's had a heart condition, male, female, any age, then you might have a stronger nexus to Down syndrome because I think it's 50% of our population have heart conditions requiring operations. If you know...
When you said 50% of the population, what? The
community of Down syndrome.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. If you know someone with a hearing disability or a learning disability, somebody who has been afflicted by cancer or Alzheimer's, now you've closed the gap a little bit and removed those degrees of separation because a lot of us do know somebody with one of those, diagnoses. And so what we do is try to make Down syndrome a little bit more relatable so that people aren't afraid to have that conversation. Wearing bright socks on Rock Your Socks Day every year is meant to trigger conversation, meant to spark a healthy appetite of curiosity by saying to your, the lady next to you, oh, gosh, I like your socks. Oh, well, you know why it is. It's because it's World Down Syndrome Day. And then share just that one, doing it one day at a time, one person at a time, one company at a time, is better than what it was last year.
So let's get the important facts out again as far as this event's going to. It's going to be on Saturday the 21st.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Next month, and just run this down for us. Cayman Bay.
Yeah, it's in Cayman Bay. March 21. It starts at 5:30 in the morning.
Early start.
Yes, because we have to finish up around 8:30. Because it's a Saturday.
Yes.
So, and we thank DART for that and Next Chapter for that as well. And as mentioned a while ago, the registration is open at event.pro. And the website of T21.
Eventpro, yes.
And we are also happy that Race Caribbean have joined in to help us out as well. Spread the announcement of the registration through the people who loves to run every day.
Yes.
We have a lot of runners here in Cayman. I know we have a lot of events as well, but people loves to run here in Cayman, right? So we know it's challenging, but it's about inclusion. It's about everyone's support to the whole community. I'm sure everyone will come out and support this as well.
Yes.
Well, thank you all for joining me in the studio today, and I hope we've helped you to get the word out and make people more aware.
Oh, you most certainly have, and we thank you for having us on in the studio. Yes.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I hope you have a great event.
Thank you.
It's 1:00. Let's go to the newsroom.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. First, a special report from St. Kitts. From day 2 of the CARICOM meeting, Peter Richards reports.
The cracks that appeared in recent months resurfaced on Tuesday night as the Caribbean Community CARICOM leaders gathered under a drone-style facility for the ceremonial opening of the 50th regular meeting. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness set the ball rolling by reminding his colleagues as well as the international community that the 15-member CARICOM is and has never been claimed to be a political union. As a result, he says, the CARICOM Treaty does not mandate a singular foreign policy or a supernatural authority.
It has also, perhaps unintentionally, diminished the genuine strengths of our existing arrangement, an association of independent states bound not by uniformity, but by shared purpose, mutual regard, and a deep history of collaboration.
For Radio Cayman News, I am Peter Richards.
We will, of course, continue to keep you up to date with all of the happenings at the Caribbean Regional Meeting. In international news, according to the BBC, Mexico's president has praised the special forces for, quote, bringing down the country's most wanted man, a drug lord known as El Mencho. El Mencho died in custody on Sunday, shortly after being captured amid a bloody firefight in Jalisco. In other news, Bill Gates, quote, took responsibility for his actions, end quote, and addressed his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein during a meeting with staff from his charitable foundation, the organization said. The Wall Street Journal reported that Gates apologized to staff, said he had 2 affairs with Russian women, whom Epstein later found out about, and in relation to the late financier said, quote, I did nothing illicit, I saw nothing illicit. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July, 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the 5th child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott worked the seas for over 52 years, a career which saw him span the global currents. In 1953, he joined his first ship, the Beretta, a local cargo vessel, signing on as deck boy, working his way up to bosun. In 1955, he joined National Bulk Carriers, working his way up to able-bodied seaman. In 1959, he signed on the Ore Meteor to go to Marine School in New York, attaining a 3rd mate's license. He joined the Bulk Petrel as 3rd officer, where during one voyage he was solely responsible for using Morse lamp signaling to save a sister ship which had run aground. He continued to flourish and attained 2nd mate, chief mate, master mariner, and radio operator licenses. In October of 1969, he took a job on oil exploration ships as a captain in Brazil. Captain Scott would later move from Brazil, where he spent the next 20 years piloting cruise ships and tankers in Grand Cayman.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos.
Oh, Lordy. Janelle? From spring break 08?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony. CG Brit K. Good like that.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Ooh, welcome back to Talk Today, and a quick look at the weather here. The forecast for the rest of the afternoon, sunny and sunny evening. And according to this, we'll have a sunny night, too. That's what I said, night, sunny. Clear skies, I guess. Beautiful night. And winds are expected to be east and northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas moderate, 3 to 5 feet. And we have someone that's been patiently holding on the phone line, so let's get to them right away. Good afternoon, you're on the air. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I said, hello. 2 women called you yesterday when you was on your last run.
Uh-huh.
But the first one of them, I really have to big up what she was explaining to you, what Caymanians really have to go through on this island today to get promotions. You know, Chalo, when I was out there on them sites, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen foreigners fight out on those sites there. You understand?
You're talking about like construction sites?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And like what she was saying, things that you have to go through. First of all, you have to be a good informer for your boss. And everything that would be against your co-worker. You have to be for that boss, for you to hold a promotion and things. This is just a situation in Cayman Islands today. And a lot of it is happening with these subcontractors. You know, that's just the way it is. And it really hurt me for that dude yesterday when he was talking about he has to remain a laborer after going through and getting qualified to be a supervisor of this work. You understand?
It wasn't quite clear to me that he had qualified for a supervisor, but anyway, go ahead.
But really, I would have liked to know who was his supervisor, because his supervisor at that time could have been his enemy as well.
Well, that's what I was trying to get from him, whether gone and said, why am I not getting any place in this job?
But, me and you discussed this before, Chalo. A Caymanian out there today he have to go through some things to really stay on a job out there. And I would imagine, I told you this some weeks ago, I would imagine how a Caymanian feels in the hotel or anyway, working out there, and when you look around you, you don't see none of your people. You're outnumbered. You understand? And believe me, trust me, somewhere along the line that Caymanian not gonna be there on that job for too long, because they can find a way to push him out. Chalo, it makes me feel so good, especially when I go to the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I see young Caymanian nurses there. And every one of them, I talk to them. And I tell them words like, retire here. Everything you need in life, you can get it right here. Don't make nobody or nothing push you out from this job. Cayman Islands is your home. You don't have no other home. Defend this one.
Do you think that sometimes? Do you think that sometimes we're too quick to throw our hands up, though? Instead of like you saying, hold the line.
I know today, my brethren. You and I been here a couple of decades now.
More than a couple, bro.
If we don't know who is who of our people, it's a saying that says sometimes your own people can be your worst enemy, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really believe that we have any angels left as Caymanians on this side.
Well, I don't know if you want to go that far, though. I mean, you have Caymanians out there of all ilks, right? I mean, you got those that try to take care of people, and like you say, those that will try and keep Caymanians down also, because they see them as some kind of competition or something, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't believe we have too many Caymanian angels left on this island, in this life. You understand? Mm-hmm. I believe that you and I came through the majority of them in the time that we were growing up here and started work and things like that. So, like I say, when I go to Chalon, I find these young Caymanians there, I talk to them and I encourage them, man.
Well, that's good. That's good of you.
You go have to be strong to deal with this. Because, Chalo, I tell you, I've seen down at hurdles, I meet South African begging money, asking me for help. But right away I get suspicion, and I could help him, but I'm not helping him. You understand? But what he's telling me is that just come on the island, and our banks are very strict and things like that, so he will wait till Monday to get some money and things. But for the weekend, he not got no money. You understand? So he probably paid a hotel and
he's come here.
his
He's
car.
come here to work.
Well, he didn't say, but all he told me that his wife was hungry and things like that. That those words kind of hit me and thing, but I'm still not helping him. You understand? What I did, Chalo, was to show him my left hand and say to him, well, you do have no money, but how do you expect me to have any? And when he see my left hand, he said, I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. And so then I just left it there. So maybe he had to wait on the bank too, because, we're going to know everything about you before we give you any money and things like that. So
Still sounds kind of fishy, though.
Well, like I said, I couldn't help him, but anyway, I was suspicious and things. I just ride off and left him there. You know what I mean? But things like that is going on here, All kind of things is going on here, Chalo. And Caymanians are the victims. Believe me, Chalo, I tell you. When I look sometimes at the dress code in Cayman Islands today and how good we looked a couple of years ago, say a decade ago or 2 decades ago, how nice Cayman looked. We're fighting hard to come out of the ghetto. See? We got people coming in here and bringing the ghetto right back here. How they dress, everything. How they live, everything. I mean, when we really look at immigration problems, I don't know if it's any ease to that by what they're trying to bring forward, I don't think that's the answer. Understand?
Well, when you say the dress, you're talking about not being modest enough?
Like I said, Chalo, maybe 2 decades ago, Caymanians would look nice. Because coming out of the ghetto, you understand? But all of a sudden, we're swinging right back in the ghetto again by people coming here that is poorer than us, making us poorer, and living the ghetto all over again. You understand? If you don't happy for these people somehow, but sometimes I have to say, why me? Why do I have to go through this? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's nothing I can do, but more times, Charlotte, I don't want to call you because there's so much to talk about. And like
so much things to say.
So much things, they got so much things to say, so I don't really want to be involved in that, Charlotte, because I'm not got no blood pressure problem, and I know chatting too much can affect blood pressure and things like that. So I will talk to you later, my boy. You and I will have to go one-on-one, man. Things we can't say over the radio. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, man.
But thanks for calling.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's some interesting chat there. I mean, especially being someone who has just arrived from South Africa, panhandling at the supermarket. That doesn't sound quite right. But I mean, we have heard and read, and actually, I actually met someone. These things where people are given supposedly. There's a job waiting for them in Cayman, and there is no job, but they arrive here, and somehow paperwork has been done for them that they're able to land in Cayman, but then the people who have arranged for them to supposedly come and work are not to be seen. They can't make any contact with them, and they find themselves stranded and, sleeping outside and not having any place to stay. Now, most likely, a person in that situation has been taken advantage of, perhaps by his own nationality. And maybe our nationality. I don't know, because when it comes to things that people will do to other people just for the sake of getting money. There doesn't seem to be any kind of border, any kind of limit as far as what nationality will do it. We'll do it to our own kind. We'll do it to other people. And I actually happened to be introduced to someone who I was told, that they had come here and was, the Compass had done quite a big story on it. And he was one of those people. He just found himself in Cayman. He landed. Supposedly there was a work permit and there was work waiting for him. But he just found himself on the street. And then going around trying to get a job because, going back home was not an option for him at the time. And those things happen, and people will exploit other people and have no conscience about it. And I know the work has said that they are, taking steps to clamp down on those sort of things, because not only is it a terrible thing to do to somebody, but it creates all sorts of social problems here in Cayman, because people arriving and thinking they have a job and there's none. You don't have to have much of an imagination to conjure up what the consequences of that will be for them. They probably paid the person that brought them here, an exorbitant amount of money, and that's probably told that was work permit fees and this and that and whatever, and they are simply looking for a better life and being taken advantage of. And once they come here and no work, well, then that's a problem for them, a problem for Cayman, and it is something that really needs to be addressed and stopped. And of course, it is criminal minds at work doing this, and the lengths that people will go to do when they are of that mind is extraordinary, and the ways in which they can come up with, different ways of getting around the law. It's incredible. We do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello, you're on the air. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
You're calling me early today.
I'm listening on the radio what's taking place about the work permits and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But question one, the people, if they do have a permit, who are those people that are taking out these permits to people that don't have any work?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big question.
Yeah, it's a lot of smoke on the screen, my friend. And I don't know, I'm baffled sometimes to listen to supposedly educated people on the talk show. And what I realize, it's better to stay a while, a couple of days, and analyze what was said before getting on and make having said that, I think it was last week, I listened to this talk show talking about Cayman Islands and what's taking place, and some was really, I don't use the word, but the modern word now in the Caribbean is bigging up the self.
Yeah.
Such like when I was in university and what was this, and when I was in university, tell me something, my friend. You went to university and you come back to the Cayman Islands, and then you're going to belittle the less fortunate Caymanians. Maybe they haven't had a chance to get a good education. You supposedly boast about your education in university. You're going to belittle Caymanians and say that crabs in a barrel. Listen carefully.
So these are Caymanians that you're talking about bigging up themselves. I'm just trying to understand.
There's some Caymanians that make themselves bold.
Yeah.
And really big about when they was in university.
Uh-huh.
And you coming back to university to talk about Caymanians and we're not united and what have you. We are crabs. Pick a pen. If we are crabs in a barrel, let's accept that. Who put us there? Let's talk about the 5,000 at one time crabs that are out of the barrel, that are non-Caymanians. Why don't you address that? They're trying to talk down poor Caymanians. I think it's a time that you have to shun people and let them know that they should think of what they're saying before they come on the show and try to really tell the audience listening what most of us don't want to hear. It happened that anyone went to college or university, yes. But then don't try to belittle your Caymanians. Try to encourage, try to help them up instead of, shall I say, for the want of a better word, cast. Caymanians are a generation of people, listen carefully, we had and have our own churches. Why do these people come into this island? They can't associate and come to our church. They have to have their own churches, and you have to go to their church. What it tells you, there is a culture clash. There's a big separation into this small little island that needs to be addressed. How we're going to address it is beyond my thoughts right now. But I cannot just sit down and hear people taking advantage of Caymanians about we can't unite. Definitely we can't unite, but what about the rest of us in here that are united against us? Why don't you speak about them? Are they trying to be Caymanian? Are they trying to be into our culture? I don't think so. Their culture they bring with them, and they're going to carry that with them wherever they go. I just like to say this, and then I'll finish. I am baffled at what I hear sometimes on the show, especially downgrading Caymanians. We are the most educated. Some of us are very educated, lawyers, doctors, and so on. But with a small population, then we cannot demand the demand for all the jobs here. So therefore, you got people coming from all walks of life. But I just hope that anyone gets on the show will try to upgrade and make Caymanians feel like we're somebody too. Because we know we got some Caymanians that never work and they never will. A few. But most of the Caymanians, if you give them a chance, they will work. Okay? But you don't want to hire Caymanians. First thing is they put it in the automatic. Caymanians are lazy. Caymanians are lazy. Well, let me tell you this. Some of the people that I see walking about all day, looking for numbers, sitting down on walls, they are not Caymanians, my friend. So I'll just leave it at that for my child and have yourself a good day, Bobo.
All right. Well, thanks for the call. You take care. Well, you know, one of the things that I've noticed, and I've lived abroad, and when people go to another country, they sort of seek out their own nationality. You know, I've seen that happen in Miami, different places that I've been in the States. In their own country, they're not, you know, as united as you were saying, because everybody is, you know, kind of competing against each other, I guess. And that's what people talk about, you know, the crabs in the bucket mentality, crawling over each other, trying to get to the top and out. But then when people are migrants in a foreign country, they start to, you know, gather together, gather with their own nationality. And I know, I guess it's human nature. We see it happening in Cayman. But if you go to other places, you know, that's how neighborhoods you hear. You're in the Italian neighborhood, you know, or I remember in Miami, you'd always say, well, if you see a Cuban get a management position in a store, pretty soon all the staff is going to be Cubans. That's what people would say. I guess it's just human nature. It's 1:31. That means I got to take a break. I'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/STEPS.
One of my favorite memories listening to Radio Cayman over in the BRAC was during hurricane season, waiting for the updated storm coordinates to be able to track it on the map. So I would be either by the radio or by the map. Me or my dad, whoever was closest to the radio, would shout out the coordinates and the other person would mark it down on the map, and then we'd both take a look and see where we predicted the storm to be moving and how quickly it would get to the BRAC or how close it would come to the BRAC. It's one of my favorite memories. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And if you want to pick up the phone, want to chat a little bit, you don't have the number here, the numbers to call, 1-800-534-8255, and that is courtesy of Flo. Other numbers, 949-8037, 6990. And you can call us by WhatsApp. You can also leave a message. And that number is 925-3261. And whether you communicate by email or WhatsApp, you got to be careful once you're dealing with the internet out there. I just came across another story again where the police are trying to make people aware of a scam email that's going on. And you have to look for, the signs. If you don't recognize the email, it's not from someone that you know, you got to take a couple of looks at it. I'll get back to that, but we have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, how are you doing?
How you doing?
All right. Are you on a speakerphone? Because we're having a little trouble.
Yeah, I'm on speaker, sorry.
Yeah. Be better if you talk directly into it.
Oh, okay. I was just calling to let you know, when I'm driving up to the Eastern Districts, I realize the government has a NRA grass cutting machine that cuts the bush. But I really and truly don't like how he cuts the trees. It really makes the place look terrible.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
What can you talk about that topic?
I know what you mean. It looks like they're just hacked.
Destroying the trees.
And is that all along the road there, going up to the east?
Well, I see it from Borden Town. Start from Borden Town, come straight up.
Yeah, I've seen that myself, and it really it doesn't look good. And I don't know what it does to the trees. I mean, I guess they're just there they're doing that to keep the limbs from reaching out into the road. But yeah, it would be nice if they could find a different method of doing it.
You're right. That's a disgrace. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, that's all it was, man.
All right. Well, thanks for bringing that up.
Yes, sir.
All right. You take care. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Yeah, when they turn that, I think it's the same thing that they use to cut the grass, that they turn it up and, just go along and chop off the limbs of the trees. But sometimes the tree looks like it's like been mangled, right? Not, something that's like professionally cut. But I was talking about the being careful with emails, and we just saw one where it was just saying to click on a PDF, just a message. It says, the RCIPS cybercrime investigation team said a PDF document currently being sent to local entities from a compromised email address, not sure what they mean by that, but contains a malicious link labeled View PDF, which installs malware when clicked. And of course, if you do click on it, that's when the bad news starts, right? And if you get an email, and even WhatsApp messages now, you have to be careful of, but there often is red flags if you get an email from a strange address, a strange name. You've never had any kind of communication with them before. Always best to take a little look and see if you see anything strange. One of the first red flags is it creates what they call artificial urgency. or it uses a generic greeting, contains poor spelling or grammar, or has a mismatched, unusual sender address. And as far as the false urgency, what that means is like, you got to do this right now. And I know there's a time around here, if you had a cnw.ky email address, it was like every day I was getting those. You know, your email account is going to be closed down tonight. You know, click on this so that you can rectify the situation. And my God, I mean, those just kept coming one after the other. We do have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon. I would like to support the last caller concerning the pruning of the trees.
If you can call it that, right? If you can call it pruning.
It looks like when Ivan came through and like a tornado and splintered the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Up until yesterday, I was complaining about this type of cutting. What does?
Were you talking to the NRA?
No, actually, I was talking to the passenger I had in my car, but I have called and complained about it. And, you know, I have called NRA and complained about it. Also, especially at Christmas time when the shamrocks are in bloom for Christmas.
Yeah.
And they just come through and just splinter those trees. I get so angry.
What did NRA tell you when you talked to them?
They would see about it. The other thing I call and complain about, I even send emails about, is about when they go out to cut the sides of the road, why can't somebody be there to clean up at the same time? Oh, that's how it's supposed to be, but we're short-staffed or we haven't gotten around to it yet. I'd rather they not cut it if they're going to leave the litter there. I don't know. Why, you know, if we were all alike, the world would not have much color or variety. But these kind of things, we need to think alike. We need to think alike. We need to clean up the litter and keep it clean. It shouldn't be there to begin with. But what's so hard about appreciating a beautiful tree? Why can't we prune those trees that they're still beautiful? They're not hanging over, but still beautiful. It's just terrible to see them splintered as if Ivan had just passed through on.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a quick way of getting it done, but they do look terrible, you know, after that machine has just torn them apart.
Yes. So I still hope that we can have a more beautiful landscape as time goes on. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for the call.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
And someone else is on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Charles, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Simple explanation to that problem there with the trees.
Uh-huh.
When you buy a machete, right, you got a sharp side and a pretty much of a flat, dull side on the other side.
Right.
What happens if you use the back side of the machete?
Probably not too much unless you pound away at it for a long time.
Well, what is happening with those machines that they are using to do the trimming along the roadsides, those blades on that, they use them to cut the grass also off the roads. And there's a lot of rocks that is all mixed up in the grass and everything else. So what they are doing is that when they're trimming, they're cutting rocks and everything. And those blades on those trimmers, you can take that and ride that from here to Poland. And you wouldn't even get chafe.
Well, I've wondered if
And,
it's even designed to do that. Are they really meant to?
Again?
I say I wonder whether those blades are really designed to cut limbs like that.
They're not designed to do that kind of trimming.
That's what I
Right.
thought.
I mean, when those blades are new, they're fine for trimming, like, proper grass on the side, on just behind the sidewalk and stuff like that. That no rocks or pebbles are in it.
They're
right?
huge lawnmowers.
Yeah, exactly. But you see what another thing. You see what those hedge trimmers does when they cutting grass on the side of the road. What happens to your car or truck?
Oh yeah, things are flying out at you.
That is a total disgrace because, I mean, you turn around now and say, look, you see how you damaged my car or truck? You think they're going to start taking a responsibility for it? And they have no concept. They don't care whether your car or truck, brand new, get destroyed or chip up. They could care less. But there's so much damage that is caused by these things. But yet these are the little small issues that, people that have authority can say, look, when you are trimming close to the road, anytime vehicles are coming, you have to stop. But you think anybody ever talked about that before or brought it up? I don't think so, right? Because it's not important to some people. And another thing, this thing about driving on the right-hand side of the road, backhoes, and people that is on the speed limit and all of this crap and breaking down in the right-hand lane with flat tires and doing repairs of cars on the right-hand side of the road. Why can't they have a bit of common sense and realize that if I'm driving on the left, if something happens to my car, if I get a flat or my car overheat or something like that, I got the side medium, I can pull over and get off of that main road. But they don't even have that kind of common sense to realize that that is what the left-hand lane is all about. So they should not be on the road. I didn't mean to go into all of this, Charles, but
That's okay.
It's hard sometimes, when you see these things and, you're saying to yourself, I know that I can drive on the left regardless of what. If something happens, I don't have to worry about, it disrupting the flow traffic on the right-hand side. But, I mean, these are simple little things, and I think it needs to be talked about more on the talk show to try to nail it in these people that shouldn't be on the road brain, which I don't think they got in it, because if they did...
even if you're in the right-hand lane and something starts to happen, you probably have enough time to get over to the left. I mean, the cars
and just... It depends on the traffic.
Yeah, it depends on the traffic for sure. But, the car, it would be very unusual for the car to just quit on you just right there. It can't go anywhere. You can kind of limp your way over to the left and make sure people get around you.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it up to this morning, Charles. This guy is stuck out on the right-hand side of the road in the 40-mile zone speed limit. He was out there and his car broke down.
Mm-hmm.
Had he been on the left-hand side of the road, he could have pulled over without any problems whatsoever, because your car is not going to just die and stop. The brake stops it. So you have enough time to pull over because you can freewheel. The car can freewheel and you just give you enough time to pull over. But, it's so many things that, we are, turning a blind eye to that is very important with the traffic. And another thing is that people wait till they're ready to turn and they put their indicators on. I mean, why bother? I mean, I put my indicators on and I know exactly where I'm going when I leave home. It's not me getting halfway down the road and say, oh my God, I wonder where the hell I'm going. No. I know where I'm going. Most of these people, they get on the road and they don't know where they're going. See? And it's really sad because the traffic problem that we are having here, we should not be having it. and a lot of it could be avoided just because some people don't want to stay off of the phone, and they're not paying attention to the road, and they're out in the right-hand lane doing 25, 30 miles an hour. I mean, what do you think will happen to the traffic? You come up to the street light, the light is on green, and sit there. Hello?
They're on the phone.
If I'm behind you, you're in trouble because that horn come in and I can wake you up because you got no business sleeping on the light.
And you see, you're talking about knowing where you're going when you leave. They see a lot of them, they're just relying on that, the maps and the phone, right? They didn't stop and think about what route to take. They're just taking the instructions from the phone. Turn left, turn right.
Anyway, have a good afternoon, Charles.
All right, you too. Thanks for the call.
Good to talk to you.
Got to take a break. Be right back.
Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cineco and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cineco motor insurance. Learn more and register at cineco.ky. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands.
50 years of music.
This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
50 years of life. We are the rhythm of the city.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And that was an interesting ad there. That you might have heard it this time around or some other time from Cineco about the simulation driving lessons. Because, I believe that driver's ed, as it's sometimes called, driver's education, should be like a mandatory thing. Even like for students in high school, because every high school student can't wait to get behind the wheel of a car, right? But we should educate them. I mean, everybody wants to get a car, most people anyway, but knowing how to handle that vehicle is very important. Like, that's what we were talking about before, about how people, make bad judgments when they're out there staying in that right-hand lane, even though your car is broken down, instead of trying to get to the left. And people should be taught these things. And, even if you're an adult and you're getting your first driver's license, there should be some kind of education before you just go take that test. Yeah, the test is your final exam in that class, right? But someone should actually teach you how to drive. We have a caller on the line, so let's take this phone call. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
I am thankful for another day. And hello, K-Man. I want to say my 2 cents about what the callers are talking about, okay?
Go
and
ahead.
then I want to touch on one other little thing briefly.
Sure.
This all comes down to having the proper equipment to cut the roadsides. And it's all good and fine when you look at it, but go back another day and walk past it and see how disgusting it looks. The roadside, they're trying to cut the trees and the shrubbery. They're just making what looked not as bad before look 100 times worse.
At least it looked
and the
natural.
Colors are right.
It looked natural before, right?
It looks like somebody just came across and just chop, chop, chop and left everything. And then you look on the ground and you see the garbage. You see the beer bottles. You know what this comes down to, Mr. Glidden? And I've said this before. If in Cayman we actually have respect for where we live, we would not destroy what is old to build always what is new. We have to stop and think at how we are clearing intersections and roadways. And I give you a prime example, Mr. Glidden, of how disgusting it looks. Right here in West Bay, Stadium Drive that meets Reverend Blackman Road, and then it meets Powell Smith Road. That 4-way junction or 3-way junction, whatever we call it.
Yeah.
The NRA has now come about and they're putting proper lanes for you to turn. When you come off a stadium, you turn to the left. You go in the middle lane if you're going straight across, and then the left lane is for the people to turn coming off down from the library area past the health center there, where you would turn on your left to go onto Stadium Drive.
Right.
Look at what they've done to the side there on Stadium Drive of that road on the left hand. They've chopped the trees. They've come and put the cutting machine, chopped it, and it looks horrible. And it's being done all over the island. I watched a video last week. Someone did a drive to East End. And I was shocked to see what I saw, Mr. Glidden, because I had never seen Cayman roadways so clean. I don't know where the garbage is in East End. I don't know who's doing the job they are doing. But I didn't see any garbage on the roadside when the video was being taken. And I looked at it and I said, it's a pity the rest of Cayman cannot become as clean as what East End looks like. Because from me looking on the video, I saw no garbage. I saw roadways clean. And the person even doing the video in the vehicle said, all of these beautiful, quaint little houses are kept and their properties are kept up.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that the powers to be at the NRA do not understand that you do not go with a machine that is meant to cut grass and allow the worker, the employee, to turn it up on its side and just destroy all of the roadway with the trees and the shrubbery and make them look like the lady caller said it a couple of minutes ago, like Hurricane Ivan came and stripped everything down and tore it up. It looks nasty, and they have to do a better job. We keep hollering about every department in government is down, personnel is down this and down that. But when are we actually going to address, like the other gentleman said, the small little issues, which are these, that make this country and this island look like trash? We have trash everywhere on the roads. I am tired of picking it up. People have to do a better job of respecting where they live and do their part. Government can't do it all, But when we see stuff like this, we have to call it out, because it not only makes the roadway look disgusting, it makes this country look unkept. And I will tell anyone, I am not impressed at our roadways, nor am I impressed at the garbage that keeps blowing around everywhere. Because we have heard of the children in the schools. The garbage can is there, and they throw the garbage down by the garbage can. So when are we actually going to start respecting where we live? Because that's what it comes down to, Mr. Glidden, respect. Because people don't have respect on the roadways. They don't have respect for throwing garbage, much less half the time respect for individuals.
And respect for yourself.
Most people don't even have that. And I keep telling people, respect is earned. We cannot buy it in a supermarket, mini-mart, or corner store. So when are we actually going to look at the small little things as individuals and realize we all play a part? You know what is needed in this country is a proper unit, either from the NRA, to hire people to continually clean and keep our roadways pristine, because our roadways have become racetracks for these illiterate drivers who seem to think they own the roadways.
Listen, I'm gonna have to break in on you. You want to hold on? Because I got to go to the news.
Because I want to touch on the environment afterwards.
Okay, let's go to the newsroom.
Covering Little Cayman Bride.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. First, a special report from CARICOM. Peter Richards reports.
In recent months, the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has described CARICOM as not being a reliable partner, citing poor management, weak accountability, among other issues. Her address, therefore, to the summit was the most anticipated, particularly given her open public support for the United States and its military action in the region in dealing with the illegal drugs trade.
The military action by the American military in the Caribbean caused, you know what happened in our country? Caused our murder rate to decrease by 42%. But we gained from the help, I'm saying, that military help, and I will welcome them again. So we changed the policy, and we were able to bring those murders down by 42%. As I say, that's 257 less people who would have been dead had we not taken that course of action.
We will, of course, continue to keep you updated on all of the events happening at the regional meeting. In international news, according to Reuters, oil prices slipped into negative territory today as a much larger than expected U.S. crude stock build outweighed the threat to oil supply from potential military conflict between the U.S. and Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump briefly laid out his case for a possible attack on Iran in his State of the Union speech on Tuesday, saying he would not allow a country he describes as the world's biggest sponsor of terrorism to have a nuclear weapon. In other news, protesters gathered on the Greek island of Crete late Tuesday following the arrival of a U.S. aircraft carrier that is part of a major buildup of American forces in the Middle East. Protesters held up individual placards with letters spelling out "killers" in English. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and a quick look at the weather before we get back to the phone call. And the present temperature here in Georgetown, 80 degrees. The wind out of the east-northeast at about 13.5 knots. And the forecast is sunny, sunny, sunny all through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. Wind is expected to be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas moderate, running at 3 to 4 feet. And we have a caller that had been with us before the news and is hanging on to finish their point. So let's go to the phone line. Good afternoon. We're back with you.
Yes, sir. If we do not respect where we live, and that goes for where we live at home and the general country where we are, the Cayman Islands, who do we think is going to respect it? If we continually trash the roadways, continually trash our properties and don't want to upkeep them, you know, I keep telling people, visitors to these islands aren't coming here to see Miami. They're coming here because we are unique. We are very unique, and they come for the sea and the sun and the beach and the history, and hopefully within that they get to see a few Caymanians, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But if we are going to continually not do anything about the way the NRA is cutting the roadways, then we're not going to do it. But I hope after this little bit of conversation, the head of the NRA will go out in one of the government's people-owned vehicles and drive and see in the districts what has been cut and see how it has been cut, because it is an eyesore, to say the least. And it is not portraying the clean image that we want for the Cayman Islands that we are advertising, okay? And I think that even the Department of Tourism should get involved in this. But you know what I'm going to call for? I'm going to put it out there. We need to get some kind of roadway crews going in this country where our roadways are kept clean, and we have to do a better job. The environment minister, whoever that is, because I don't remember who it is. I think it's Ms. Ebanks-Wilt, whatever.
I think so.
I think it's her in charge. When are we going to actually look at the environment that affects us daily here? And that is garbage. Garbage is being thrown on our streets by people, because I see it every day. I see people throwing stuff out of their cars. And honestly, it does not make any sense, Mr. Glidden, to go to the authority, which is the police, because the police don't do anything about it. Just like the lady caller before said, the NRA has done nothing to address her concerns. So then and there, what does the public do, and what does the public have to do in order to get this to the attention of those that are behind these organizations that are running the government organizations or whatever they are that are supposed to be making sure our roadways are kept clean? We need to stop making excuses in this country. If we need more people to clean our roads, then hire them.
Maybe the same people that they have at Christmas.
There's a lot of Caymanians that would go out here daily that can still work and go do it. And that is where we need to begin the conversation. My mother has been gone, I think, 45 years now or more. And my mother always instilled in me that cleanliness is next to godliness.
We all heard that one as children.
We got to do a better job, Mr. Glidden, because Cayman looks like a dump when you walk the streets and you see the trash. I'm not sugarcoating this. It looks like a dump. And it's people that do not care. And I find it a lot. There are foreigners that do it. And how I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you what I'm telling you. I'm giving you one example. Look at the launching ramp down here, down from the Cayman Turtle Center, what we call the Turtle Farm, okay?
Yeah.
I go there every evening to sit down and relax, and some mornings to watch the waves. And you know what I see? Mr. Glidden, there's trash. I have stopped there on many occasions, and I have spent 2 hours picking up trash, gloves, disposable gloves. I don't touch what I see is totally nasty. There's a big old cement piece that sits up out on the iron shore where people go to fish and stuff. You see condom wrappers. You see condoms all down there. You see condoms in the parking lot. And you know what people are coming to do? They're coming to have sex in their cars and sex down on the iron shore. And they're leaving their alcohol bottles, their water bottles, and whatever else. If they come to fish, some of them mash up beer bottles and leave them on the iron shore with the tops off of the bottles, the metal covers. You get sick and tired of picking up other people's trash. And you know what needs to be done with all of our launching ramps? Government needs to put CCTV up at all of them. And they need to start putting up signs. Do not litter.
Are there trash cans there? Now. Are there trash cans there at the launch ramp?
There are 2 trash cans as you enter the parking lot up against the cement area where they have the benches bolted down.
Uh-huh.
But Mr. Glidden, it's an eyesore, and I tell you why. Because even the metal railing that is up there, it's broken to pieces. You can't even stand up against it because part of it is missing. What happens if someone that is a visitor, because I see the visitors go there every day, and they would love to stand up and take a picture up against that railing, but they got to stand by and sit on the seats on those benches that are there bolted down because it's an eyesore. Who wants a broken down railing in their picture when they're on vacation? It's just an eyesore, and it's these small little things in this country that we are letting slide and slide daily. And I keep saying, we have the departments within our government, but it seems to be we can only get any attention done to them because when we reach out to them, they ignore us. All we can get best is to come to the talk shows and start to air it because it needs to be aired. We need to clean up our launching ramp. If it's so where people have to come 2 times a day to clean the launching ramps up. You know, I go down there and all of these nor'westers that we've had, I know the fishermen go out there. Do I sit down and ask why the rocks have come up off of the sea? No, they come up because the waves are big and bold, and when I tell people when that mighty Caribbean Sea gets angry, don't mess with it. So when it calms down, I go in, I take the rocks and the stuff that's come up off of it. You know why I do it, Mr. Glidden? Because I have respect for those steam-bearer fishermen that go out there and fish and bring fish back that I buy from them.
Well, thank you for being a good citizen.
No, if they have to roll down their trailers and get a flat tire or mash part of the truck up with a rock that hits up on it, that's on the launching ramp, it's going to cost them more. It's less for them to take home to them for themselves and their families to feed their families.
True.
Because everything in this country, Mr. Glidden, has a trickle-down effect.
Well, listen, I got to break in on you because I got another caller and I got a break to do and I don't have a lot of time, okay? But 5
dive resorts on this coast here of Northwest Point, And they claim to say that they respect the Caribbean Sea and what's below it. But they have not respected the Caribbean Sea, and neither has the planning department of the Cayman Islands when they approved these dive resorts to build out onto the iron shore. Because I leave Cayman with this.
All right, thank you for the call. Let's go to the break.
The results are in. 11% of Cayman's population have been previously diagnosed with raised blood sugar or diabetes, and as many as 50% of all persons living with diabetes in Cayman have never had a foot exam. The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases such as diabetes. Your health matters. Let's step into wellness, Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
System 1 noted. For the record, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 9:30, we interview the various government ministers, opposition, and Cayman Island legislators. For the record is brought to you by West Bay Pharmacy at Centennial Towers. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. Everything you need and the hours you need it at West Bay Pharmacy.
Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock on Breeze Radio. Entertaining, enlightening, and inspirational. Topical with CI cultural and heritage flashbacks and the wonderful music of yesteryear, from the Thomas Edison era to the recent past. Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturdays at 7 p.m. on Breeze Radio, 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Be listening. History is always echoing.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we have a caller on the line, so let's check in with that person. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good afternoon. I want to continue supporting the callers concerning the litter on our roads. It's unacceptable. And the last caller said the tourism department needs to join in this aspect. I support that suggestion, and I am going to further say the judicial department also needs to get on board. I am about to answer an email whether I support the fines for littering.
There are penalties.
Get them, pardon?
I said there are penalties for littering.
Yeah, but the Parliament now wants to even make these penalties more. But where are these people going to get that money to pay back? It's going to be us, the people, paying for them to go to prison because they cannot pay the fine. And so that means that...
Well, if they can't pay the fine, they could put them out there on the road to clean the road.
Well, you just took that right from me. That's my suggestion. Instead of putting the fines up, put them out on a certain area of the road, a 5-mile stretch, and let them clean that stretch. And as people throw litter out, they could take a picture of that litter in the car if they're not picking up litter, and shame those people.
Well, maybe they have to put a sign on their back and say, "I'm a litter bug." as they're going
Yes.
along.
That's right. That's right. That will stop it. I know people always say you hit a man in his pocket and you'll get his attention, but that shaming will also get him or her alert. And we can't be showing our children this type of lifestyle. No. People come to this island because we're one of the cleaner Caribbean islands. They come to this island because they're not hackled by vendors when they come ashore, and we must maintain that type of reputation. Thank you so much for listening.
Glad that we have an outlet for you. Thanks for calling. And yeah, we are still, known as one of the cleanest Caribbean islands, and I've never been able to understand the mentality of a person who's driving along and, I don't know, they're drinking something, eating something, and then they just throw the wrapper out, throw the paper cup out the window. I just don't get that. What makes you want to do that? That you just can't keep that in your car until you get where you're going and then, dispose of it in a proper way. But, I've actually seen people, they finish that last sip and then it's whoop, out the window that cup goes. I don't know, it's like the caller was saying, having no respect for where you live, and I guess some people are just like that. They probably are the ones that they also throw it down on the ground when the trash can is right there. We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Charles.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good so far. I'm listening in to the callers and listening to you talking.
So you want to get in on the litter conversation we're having?
Yeah, actually, I have a few spots that I like to go to in West Bay. And I'll be very honest, the use of alcohol and the use of drugs encourage that type of behavior, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it either.
Yeah.
The use of drugs and the use of alcohol is encouraging that kind of behavior, because you don't get that kind of behavior from a decent, normal person that is, just trying to have lunch or something. Also, I see the signs out there, right? There's a particular sign, I'm going to mention it. It's out down in the end of King Road in West Bay, right? Mm-hmm. There's a sign that says littering, and it tells you all about littering. It's not good, blah, blah, blah. And then there's not a single trash can. You mentioned something about wondering if there was a trash can in that area.
Yeah.
By the launching ramp, they are. But like I said, the behavior of the alcohol and drugs, it makes people feel lazy. And I can just imagine that, because just imagine you have a trash can and you don't want to throw garbage in there because you feel like it's easier to throw the garbage on the ground or just toss it out the window. That's a lazy mentality. That's a lazy.
For sure.
It's almost like this. It's almost like the same as not, and it's a very popular one. Not lifting the toilet seat up when you're taking a piss.
Okay.
It's just the same type of mentality. It's just a lazy mentality, and that's
But like you say, if you're under the influence of alcohol, you just don't care, right? You
don't care.
Throw it down, right?
They don't care about the consequences. They don't care about their actions. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And alcohol does it. You get one too many beers in your system or whatever rum you're drinking, and this is the mentality that you've adopted.
I would have thought, though, because it is a public area that I'm talking about, the launch there, that there would be somebody that would go by there, from Department of Environmental Health, whatever.
Public works.
I think DEH would be what it would come under, but since it is a public area, that, somebody goes down there and, make sure that there's no trash lying around.
I would agree. I would think the same thing too. But, like, everybody's their own free agent here in Cayman, as long as there's no supervision going on. And everybody wants to play chief, so everybody's their own supervisor. So, like, I don't know where the enforcement is, but they do like the I think it's one of your last caller just mentioned about the security cameras, have some CCTV cameras.
Yeah.
These are things that they should be enforcing. They should be putting these things up instead of having to try put CCTV cameras in the traffic. That it's not only the traffic that is the problem. We have places where people sit down on. One of your callers mentioned the things that they do in these spots. That's not new. None of these things are new, and they all know it. Everybody knows this. It's nothing new. At least those who are in the area know about it. And then it's just like a cultural thing. That's a normal thing, and I don't know why we allow these things to happen, in our godly society. And it just, to me, it baffles my mind just to know how you can find some of the most strangest things thrown away at these areas, and especially in the beach areas. I don't understand what is it so nice about chilling out in a nice, soft, fresh breeze and throwing your garbage away and just throwing it on the ground everywhere what is it? They're so, I don't know how you would call it, animalistic.
And, some of those people, if you go to where they live, it's just like that also. Inside their apartment or inside their house, it's just like that.
Yeah. I don't know who is in charge of that part. Where you have garbage laying around, throwing out car parts and all those different type of things, and that's the most popular thing, car parts. They have the most common of them all, the Jamaicans that love to do their mechanic work, and they salvage parts off of vehicles and they leave it anywhere they go. I mean, Caymanians adopt it too, but let's be real. Majority of those people that do those things are Jamaicans because they have
where they cannibalize a car
on the island.
Somebody leaves the car there because, I don't know, they're leaving or they're going away. They're not going to live in Cayman anymore. And then people come and cannibalize the car for parts. Listen, I got to get another caller in here before the show is over, but thank you so much for calling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have another caller with WhatsApp this time. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes.
I've been listening to all the comments about the garbage and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that you were wondering how which intelligent or decent people would do the sort of thing that they do, littering the place. And my thinking about it is that it's the same sort of mentality that makes people refuse to use their indicator.
Okay.
Refuse to use their indicator because they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about others.
Yes.
I mean, they have their things right there on their car. It's just a little button that you just hit and it's on. And they don't care about
no mystery behind
the
it.
other person.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just my little bit I wanted to add.
Yeah, just caring about other people and, wanting to live in an orderly way.
Right.
That's all it takes. But,
right.
But you're right. It's probably the same kind of mentality. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks very much. You
all
have
right.
a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling. Yeah. I once heard someone say, 90% of the cars in Cayman must have their indicators broken, and and what was it? And then 5% of the car drivers have no idea what that little stick is on the side of the steering wheel. So only like 5% of the cars give any kind of indication where they're going to be turning. But caring about other people and caring about the environment that you live in, all goes along with people just putting trash all over the place. Because if you live like that when you go down by the beach, when you go sit on the iron shore or the launching dock, is that how you live at home? Probably. And like I say, people just are negligent. They don't care. But what would it be like? I mean, if we're all like that. And I guess it's also how people are raised, you know, because I know I've seen young people, children, that they are very conscious about not littering, about taking the few extra steps to go to the trash can, to put something into the trash can. So if children can be that aware of it, you know, it's probably something about how we are raised. And as children, you were just allowed to throw things down, just drop something on the ground or on the floor after you finish eating from it or drinking from it. But let's try and make Cayman, as great a place as we can and keep it clean. It is 2:30, and that means my time is up here. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and especially thank all the people who took the time to give me a call. That's it for me. I'm Charles Glidden. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.